Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole. I'm a registered dietitian with Crohn's disease. If you're new here and you don't know about me, I've had Crohn's for about 2 years. I run a virtual private practice as a dietitian, helping people navigate their nutrition for their Crohn's as well as mental health. And that is what we're doing today, is talking about the mental health aspect of living with Crohn's, and on top of that, changing your diet for your Crohn's disease, because it's not as simple as just you follow this diet plan and you have it all written down and it's key to key and you just follow it and you're cured. Because as we all know, diet is integral to every single part of our lives. We have families, we have social events, we have holidays, we have our own personal emotional ties to food. Food is used as a coping mechanism for a lot of things very often, including stress, boredom, celebration, and all those happy things as well as the sad things. So I want to start off talking about mental health for Crohn's in general. This is something I personally have been struggling with since before getting diagnosed, since the pain started and I realized I couldn't eat the same way because food for me was my coping mechanism. So one thing I realized I've been doing is clinging to my past, clinging and hoping and praying that my past would just come back, that I would be my normal self, I'd be 100% healthy, be able to eat whatever I want. And all of that got mixed in too with wanting my past life, which includes different people, different family, different financial situation, different my old life, which life moves and changes and ebbs and flows, and things that used to work for us don't anymore, and that's why we move on. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm in such a bad place. I kept thinking, I hate my life, I hate where I am, I hate, the money, I hate the house, I hate, my day-to-day routine, and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, I'm overstressed, and there's too much going on, I just can't handle it. And what I realized what all of this was a lack of acceptance and a rejection of reality and clinging to the past. And it's all part of the grieving process, ultimately, is what it is. But when you listen to, different people with meditation or mindfulness, there's a lot of this talk of acceptance. And when you're first told you need to accept what's happening, it's almost like a feeling of being attacked. And it's like, well, you don't understand what I'm going through, and that's not fair, and I shouldn't just accept it. You want me to just roll over and die and just deal with the pain and be miserable. And that's not what acceptance is. Acceptance is realizing the situation as it is, not thinking that things should be the way they were, but figuring out a way to move on as things are. And what that means is coming up with a plan to make your life better the way things are now. And that's ultimately what acceptance is. It's working with what you have and what is, and not thinking about the past, not worrying about what the future holds. And so I came up with an actionable way to deal with this. And one of my thoughts was journaling, right? Everybody says journal. So I was like, well, journaling doesn't help. Every time I've tried journaling, I'm just venting, I'm dumping all my thoughts, and I'm hating my life. And after it's over, it's just like, okay, well, I just hated my life for 30 minutes. And science does show that venting does not do anything good for you. In fact, it can reinforce the negative thoughts. So what I've done, or am doing, I'm in the process of doing this for myself, is created journaling to be the time and place to worry, the time and place to maybe miss the past. So yes, venting, but after doing the dumping, doing the brain dump, doing the venting, doing the thinking, create an action of, okay, well, where am I going to go from here? Where things are right now? What's bothering me in this moment? And what can I do about it? And then after you've figured that out, you keep working on the action, but close the journal and stop worrying. You let it go. There is no more, that is the only time and place for worrying. or thinking about the past or missing your past self. The action gets you to where you want to be. But throughout the day, if you have a thought come up that's like grieving or worrying, you think, okay, now is not the time and place. I realize this is how I feel, acknowledge it, but then move on, focus on what's in the here and now. You know, are you driving? You're driving, so you just keep driving. Focus on the feel of the steering wheel, focus on the feel of the road beneath the wheels. Listen to the music that's on the radio or in your, MP3 player, MP3 player, oh, wow. Your Bluetooth, like focus and be present. How does this food taste that I'm eating? How does this hot coffee taste that I'm drinking? Just focus and be and use the sensory aspects of life to ground you to the present. And journaling is your time and place to worry and grieve and think about all the things that make things harder in the time and present, in the now. With that, learning to meditate and finding a good app or a good resource on how to meditate. I use the Headspace app. I think it's the best for me. And what meditation does for you, it's not a timeout, it's not learning how to breathe, it's not, clearing your mind of every thought. It teaches you how to identify those thoughts that are good or bad. Not necessarily good or bad, but helpful or unhelpful. And if you notice throughout the day you're having a thought that's unhelpful, you note it, you say, okay, that's an unhelpful thought, that's for journaling time. And you move on and you stay in the moment, you stay present. And it can help you with focus and clarity so that all of the negative feelings and thoughts that are pent up in your mind and your body, you can learn to let go. And that's what it's all about. Let go of your thoughts of what the future may or may not hold. And that's a big one because I had a lot of hopes and dreams and thoughts about what my future would have that are now looking less likely. But there's a lot of things that my future will have that will be good. And I'm not sitting here thinking about that. I'm thinking about the things that, what if I end up in the hospital for 20 days? What if I end up with the surgery and I get severely infected and I almost die? What if I do die? Those are the thoughts that I have. They're unhelpful. So that's what all of this is meant to sort out and suss out, so that when you're at work and you're working really hard, or you're sitting on the couch watching TV with your family, you're not somewhere else. You're here, now, living. Because if you don't live now, when will you live? When is that moment? Because living in a fake future isn't living. And living in a past that you've already experienced isn't living. Or wishing things were different. It's not a good way to live. That's how I feel. And that's what I'm working to sort out. So flipping over to the next thing. So how do you change your diet, right? And not feel restricted? Part of that is weighing what's important. And is living in the here and now important to you? Is living in the future important to you? And changing your diet can help you with that. It can help you with the living and help you be present and help you feel and be. And it's not about getting rid of all the things that you love. And there are ways, I've talked about this, in other videos, that you don't have to be ridiculously strict to follow a Crohn's diet and get healthy, get into remission. Like, you can still eat gluten, so you can still have pasta. Dairy is not out of the question. You can still have dairy. It's just a matter of doing it the right way. Yeah, it might require some more prep. It might require some more cooking. One good thing to do is to prepare yourself food and freeze it, so that if you have a night where you don't want to cook, you pull it out of the freezer, thaw it, and eat it. And then the other way is to find things that you love and make them the way that's safe for you. Like pizza, for me, is one of those things. And finding a way to make a yeast-free pizza that I can eat is important to me. having days where you can be free and not worry about food restrictions. Once you get to a point of healed, you can do that. You can have every weekend be free, where you're not following your food restrictions, as long as you go back on them Monday through Friday. Those food restrictions have to maintain so you can maintain remission. The Crohn's disease exclusion diet is a great way to do this. And if you get to the point where you're healed, you can eat anything. You can eat anything you want. So, and thinking about this way, right? I was thinking, well, this sucks. Why do I have to do this? This isn't fair. And think about everybody else. There's somebody on a diet to lose weight constantly. They're constantly on a diet. You're on a diet to live your life. That is totally different. You're not like on a diet, you're just living differently. It's a whole lifestyle approach and change. And so it's very important to find a way to do it for you that makes the most sense. And to be clear with yourself as to why you're doing this. Why are you making this change? And really set that affirmation of this is important for you so you can live now and here. And you're not alone. Even if you weren't going to change your diet for remission, you're going to have to change your diet for symptoms, because you're always going to have some kind of symptom. There's evidence that suggests that damage that's done by the inflammation is permanent even when the inflammation is gone, because it affects the nerves. And there's a whole like brain gut circuitry going on that gets disrupted once the inflammation sets in, so that there's always some kind of gut brain connection. And not in the good way. It's more of like, you're going to be more sensitive to stress. Your gut's going to act up more stress. So no matter what you do, you have this disease, you're going to have to adjust your diet one way or another. And like I said, everybody's doing it in some way. You got people who are trying to lose weight, people who are trying to get six-pack abs, you got people who have diabetes, you have people with heart disease, people with cancer. Everybody in one way or another is changing their diet. And if you choose health and you choose to eat healthier, your life, all of those moments that you've been avoiding by thinking of the past or worrying about the future, will be easier to get through and feel better. I hope this was more than just rambling. I hope the key takeaways that I get from this is, 1, journal with an action plan and make that your time and place to worry or to think about the past or to grieve. 2, learn meditation and mindfulness. And 3, choose health to live here and now. I hope this was helpful. I hope I wasn't just rambling on. I hope you took something from this. If you did, comment below what helped you. If you want to interact with me a little bit more, go over to my Instagram page. You can DM me. I love talking to everybody and helping anybody out if I can. And I look forward to speaking with you next time.